This year I went with the 13-inch MacBook Air with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. I wanted to make sure that when I go out to a coffee shop I have a light laptop in my bag rather than my M1 Pro 16-inch. After working for all those years building iOS and Android apps, editing videos and photos, I find that 16 gigs is enough for me. But wait, there is no charging brick in the box. EU things, you know how it is. I had to go with the space blue MacBook. My previous laptop was space gray and this just feels more right. Upgrades this year compared to the last year are minimal as usual, but there are some rumors that the new MacBooks with the M6 are coming with a touchscreen and an OLED display, and probably another bump in prices like they did this year. But if you need to upgrade this year, don't wait for the next one. I'm also planning a day in the life with this machine, so subscribe so you don't miss that. Honestly, the onboarding is not that interesting. It's the same as every other MacBook. Wi-Fi, Apple ID, user setup. I'm skipping the migration assistance, so going full fresh start so you can see exactly how I set everything up. Okay, whenever I get a new MacBook, there are a few must change settings for me. First things first, this dock needs to be cleaned up. I don't know who this default setup is for, but it's not for me. And of course, you can only remove apps one by one because why would it be any other way? Let's change this wallpaper. I found this one randomly on Google. I will leave a link in the description so you can spice up your MacBook as well. In terms of the dock itself, I keep the size around default and increase the magnification so I get that bump when hovering. I also disable natural scrolling because scrolling down and going up is just not for me. Before we install anything, we need to set up the browser. My go-to is Chrome. Probably 99% of you are using Safari just to download another browser anyway. Same behavior as on Windows with Edge. Nobody's really using it. For keeping things easier when I need to install something through the terminal, I use Homebrew. It's extremely handy for that and everything in the dev setup basically flows through this first. The first thing I installed through Brew is Git, which lets me easily work with my repositories and keep my code clean on GitHub. Nothing complicated here, it's just something that needs to be there from day one. As I'm building indie iOS apps in my free time, Xcode is my main IDE for that. It's pretty powerful and they also added an AI agent built directly into the IDE that you can link to an existing subscription you already have. So if you're already paying for something like Claude, you can just connect it straight in there, which is a really nice touch. Then there is Android Studio, my nightmare and my best friend at the same time. It doesn't matter how many gigs of RAM you have, it still manages to find a way to consume more. But at the same time, Android development is what got me to where I am today. So I'm thankful for that even when it's driving me crazy. For testing out APIs and seeing how requests and responses work, I use Postman. I really like that you can create multiple workspaces, and when you switch between workspaces, the API keys update automatically, which is something I didn't know I need until I had it. For coding, I use Claude Code as my AI agent and it's extremely powerful. Anthropic has been getting a lot of attention lately, which is bringing a lot more people into the Claude ecosystem and showing what these models are actually capable of. For programming specifically, Opus and Sonnet are my go-to models and they handle pretty much everything I throw at them. The king of productivity for me is Notion, because this is where I write down all of my ideas, scripts, to-do lists for work, app roadmaps, vacation plans, basically everything. Being able to keep all of that in a single place is just so nice, and once you build the habit of putting everything in here, it becomes really hard to imagine working without it. A productivity app I also use a lot is Raycast. One of my favorite features is the shortcuts, which lets me create custom shortcuts for accessing my repos and jumping straight into coding. So I can literally type a project name and it's automatically going to open it in my code editor and I'm ready to go. The clipboard history is also a lifesaver. When you're copying and pasting multiple different things at once, you will be really glad that history is there. Then there is Whisper Flow, and this app is wild because it's extremely simple, but it saves a ton of time. We all know that talking is faster than typing, and when I am working, sometimes I just prefer to say my prompt out loud rather than type the whole thing. It just fits naturally into the workflow once you get used to it. Another app I really love using is One Menu, which is a window manager that also lets you monitor your CPU, GPU, and RAM and has a clipboard history built in too. What's cool is that it's actually built built by Marco, who's a YouTuber that documents his journey as a developer. I really enjoy watching his content and his app is really nice. For editing my videos, DaVinci Resolve is my go-to and has been since I started this channel. It's free, and if you need more out of it, you can get the studio license, which is a one-time purchase, not a subscription like Adobe. That alone is a big deal for a lot of people. It takes a bit to get used to, but once you do, it's hard to imagine editing anywhere else. The last tool I use is Figma, where I create all of my app designs, wireframes and thumbnails. This one is also free and I've been using it from day one. I also noticed that there is a new tool called Affinity that is getting some attention lately. It's kind of like a Photoshop alternative but completely free. I'm going to take a look at that tool and see what it's about. So that's how I set up my MacBook Air for programming and productivity. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and see you in the next one. Take care.